Bada boom! And we're live.
We live?
We live, man.
We live.
Hello, people joining us not playing Destiny. How are you guys doing? Or maybe they are playing Destiny and they just are doing two things at once. You know, because Colin, the bots are just so easy. You could probably play with one hand and
I
still miss.
actually was farming with one hand the other night
Wow.
while I was on the phone. Yeah,
Yes.
that clarification.
We started off with some shots fired. Welcome to Frag Logic, episode 85. Joined by my good friend and fellow teammate, Skyllus, aka Colin, and Arctic.
The camera
Today,
was really close in. I didn't notice.
I know it is. I think it's less
It's disturbingly close, in
when
fact.
I do it like this. Hold on, let me see. Did that pop it back some? A little bit, kind of.
I just wasn't
So,
ready for my close-up, that's all.
um, but yeah, tonight we are talking about obviously Destiny. We got some more time under our belt with the game. You know, we got the initial impressions basically last week on launch day. You know what's cool about having the show on Tuesday is that we get to do all the launches for these titles like the day they come out because you know major launches are always on a Tuesday, so that's pretty cool. But we're gonna talk some more Destiny. We're gonna talk about Microsoft buying out Mojang, which we mentioned Mojang at the end of the show last week. So we get to talk about it this week as an actual thing rather than a rumor. I think there will be a lot of discussion on that. Very, very interesting topic of discussion. And then MLG out of nowhere. Literally, this is out of left field for me. This is like, I was not expecting this.
It's definitely strange.
MLG signs PewDiePie for his live show with shit, I can't remember who it is. Cinnamon Toast Ken? I think that's right. They have a show that they do called Broken, where they will. I don't know what they're going to talk about. I'm actually interested in listening to this because I've never. I watch some PewDiePie videos, and some of them are pretty funny. Other ones are not my cup of tea, but there is no denying that this dude is the king of YouTube right now, and can definitely put Major League Gaming in a very good position when it comes to content. Very interesting stuff, and we're also going to round off the show with some discussion about the iWatch and iPhone from Apple. Probably going to focus more on the iWatch rather than the iPhone, just because that's some shit that I'm going to be. I'm going to get the Moto 360 for anyone that doesn't know, and I'll do a whole unboxing. Let's talk about it.
Hmm.
I'm excited. So, Colin, your weekend. Tell me about your weekend. Well, okay. So let's just air this out because I haven't even seen the chat. It didn't pop up. Um, I am a little pumped up for the show. But that being said, I know a lot of people have probably heard about our dear friend and teammate Phobos who passed away on Friday. So Saturday, actually, this whole weekend hasn't been tremendously exciting for us. We have been able to play some Destiny together, and you know we got the GoFund form and all that stuff. But you know I don't want to talk about it too much, but you know I obviously our condolences go out to his family, and we're doing everything we can to cope with it and you know keep each other pumped up. So just had to get that out because you know I had people talking to me earlier today about it, wanting to talk to me more and more on Twitter, having people contact me now in the media, and as of right now, I'm just kind of like I don't feel like talking about it anymore. So I've already handed off that GoFund to his two brothers, Mikey and Jacob, so they're in control of it now, and all I can do is pretty much pump it up. So um, that's all I got to say. Colin, if you want to say anything, you can, but
Nah, same.
yeah. So other than that happening, which is tragic for all of us. I mean, our gaming wise, we played some Destiny, at least on my end. Colin, what about you?
Uh, Destiny, a little Dota, and then I still playing,
No, Colin, come on.
still playing Puzzle and Dragon. Uh, three or yeah, Puzzle and Dragon. I re-rolled. I'm on my third account now.
Come on, dude.
Third account now because it was Godfest, and during Godfest you can get some nice starters, and I was lacking a nice starter, so I needed to re-roll my character and grind out a couple characters, or a couple monsters, and now I'm in better position for my Puzzle and Dragon career.
This is the same game that you recommended all of us not to play, correct?
Yes, and I still recommend not to play it.
But you've now been playing it for, let me get this straight, like what, a month straight now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't play it like non-stop or anything.
But you've re-rolled it now 3 times.
Yep.
And
I probably spent like maybe 9 to 10 hours total.
And
actually, that's not true. Like 14 or 15 hours.
Okay, and is the game free to play?
Yeah, it's free.
And have you spent any money on it?
No, I don't think.
Why do you have to think about it?
Because I spent some money on Madden Mobile, but not Puzzle and Dragon.
So what is holding you back from, spending a little bit of money on the game? Because clearly you're I wouldn't say you're addicted to it, but clearly you're enjoying it enough to play it.
The pricing model isn't great for their. I'm trying to see so it costs 5 magic stones to get a monster, right?
Mm-hmm.
5 magic stones is like $5.
Ooh.
And many of the monsters are basically disposable. Like you just burn them into other monsters. So really, like, I get a chance at a useful monster for $5, and that's a bit steep. And then I'd have to level them, and like I'm low level, so it's hard to level your monster up if you're low level. So like I really have to grind out another like a while before I can actually realistically roll anything.
So the game Brave Frontier I was playing, it sounds like the exact same thing. Except
it's pretty similar, except that has like RPG gameplay, I guess.
Yeah,
and this is Connect 3 kind of type of gameplay.
Yeah.
But instead of like swapping tiles, you like select one and then you drag it across and it like moves all of them and then you let go and then that's your turn. So like you can set up a ton of different ones on the board at the same time.
Ah, okay. That makes sense. So I mean, Colin, look, I spent probably, well, you gotta understand my situation. I was without gaming for 2.5 months, so I had nothing. I was literally bare bones.
Well, without gaming for 2.5 months.
I had what was I playing? There was nothing else for me to play.
Without gaming for 2.5 months.
I bought my Wii U in June, in middle of June, when Christy came and visited while we were in transition for moving. So that's the only game I could play. And I ended up spending probably like $30 on Brave Frontier. And you can't even drop a dime? You don't even drop $5?
I
can't. You're playing it.
It just doesn't make sense because of the way they're pricing them out. I considered it. I opened the shop several times, but like working out the math, not worth it. When I can just re-roll a character and get like 4 monsters realistically on the way to leveling up to level 20, which is where I'm at now.
But it's not your
that's like one night.
It's not your monster pool though. You need an army of monsters.
I'm refreshing my monster pool.
You need an army, Colin.
I have more army than I can put in my team right now. Like there's a cost barrier.
Right.
And my monsters are too good for my team, so like I need to get to a point where I can get all of them in the same team. And then I'll consider replacing one of them with a paid one.
I feel like your monsters need to be on the money team. I don't feel like that's happening right now for you.
The other thing is, they give you a magic stone every day, so like once a week you'll get another monster. Is the way it works out.
Disappointed in you. Anyway, for me, I strictly stuck to Destiny. I actually was in Destiny and I downloaded. Hold on.
Strictly to Destiny and the other thing I downloaded.
It wasn't. It's Destiny's.
Oh, the app.
The app. I downloaded the app.
I got that too.
So
keeping on top of the clan page.
And yeah, I've seen you've been on it with accepting people in there. So their app.
I don't know why it's making us accept them now. It wasn't doing that before.
They didn't initially, but I think it was before. Their app is clean. It's so clean.
Yeah, I've used it. I've used it to look at the Grimoire because the website Grimoire is really laggy and slow. But the mobile one is just images, like it's not animated, so it's way faster. You open up the tower map, and you can actually go and see what the shop people have, and like you can see the bounties and stuff. And that's updated live. Slick. Forums, news, groups,
yep.
All of our clan stuff. I can see all the updates and messages and everything.
Yep.
Slick.
I like it. I like it a lot. The other thing I was really impressed with, I've been checking out a lot of Destiny stuff this weekend. So there was that, obviously their app, and then I checked out Destiny Tracker. Dude, that site is beast.
Yeah, that was the fan site that's pulling from the API.
Yeah, that site is ridiculous. Now, if you guys have not seen it, I'm going to put it in the chat.
I was looking into the API stuff, by the way. I was trying to see if I could pull some stuff.
Is it .net or .com? I put in .com. It might be .net.
Let's see. No, that's
it is .com. Okay, yeah. Sweet. That site is monstrous. Like, it's so good. So I was checking out my stats, like looking at, and some of that I saw was like a little bit of crossover in between. But I was putting on the shaders. I was trying to see what shader I wanted, and I was upset because I kept getting Achilles in PvP. Like, I just kept getting Achilles. I probably have like, I don't know, like 4 Achilles that I ended up selling or dismantling or whatever. And there's one that's like a red and black one. So I'm getting. Gotta get that ZYN. Gotta get it. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I've been doing is just playing Destiny. And so we can further elaborate on our impressions of the game. Because we had some people that look, I'm hyped for the PvP. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the PvP and why I'm actually even more fascinated with it now than I was initially. But we call this week one impressions.
Sure.
Destiny week 1. There we go. All right. So I'm going to start with the campaign. Because I think last week you pretty much did the damn thing on the campaign. This week I'm going to follow up and just... all I want to say is like pretty much everything that we said about the campaign and our hype. Again, our hype was primarily focused on PvP for the most part. But the PvE aspect of it, from what we've seen, from what reviews are saying, from what Metacritic is saying, from what we've been reading from other people in comments all over the fucking internet right now, we called it. I mean, give or take a few little oddballs here and there, we called that shit. So AI suspect. And I think the most frustrating thing to me about the AI, and this is the one point I want to talk about in the campaign a lot, is there is this consistent comparison with Halo's AI and how intelligent or how smart it was at the time, and then you look at Destiny and you look at a lot of the monsters' behavior, and it is the exact same behavioral patterns and different mobs essentially on Destiny that were from Halo.
Yeah. And
I mean, you can name dozens of them at this point, like almost the entire, like the Covenant, the Fallen, the brutes with the
jetpacks.
With the, what is the name of the group on Mars? I can't think of
Cabal.
The Cabal, the brutes with the Cabal, the jetpacks, the way the jetpacks move, how big they are. I mean, it looks damn near similar. So, I think
they did swap the jackals with the brutes, though. So now the Cabal have the big shields.
Shields, yeah.
Where you just shoot the gun, and then and then you shoot them. Like, yeah, exact same.
Yeah, the Flood or the Thrall.
Thrall would just run at you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of overlap between the AI, and I feel like someone has probably made a video comparison out there already. If there hasn't been one, I'm waiting to see the video comparison that someone makes between the AI behavior in Halo and then the way the AI behavior is in Destiny. I would like to see a side-by-side video of each enemy and how they behave, and I guarantee they're almost identical. And what is so fascinating to me about that is the evolution of the gamer, right? Everyone praises that game for having this amazing AI. Man, it's so good, it's so great. And then you throw it in Destiny 10 years later, give or take, right? 7-10 years later, somewhere around there, in between that time. And then people are like, this AI is fucking easy. What is... I'm putting it on the hardest difficulty and I'm breezing through it. What's up? So I don't know if it's like people are not impressed by that now, or that, you know, there hasn't been major improvements overall, I would say, in enemy AI behavior in the last 10 years of game development. Maybe that's something that needs to improve. I don't know what the case is, but if you look at it, the one-to-one, like the comparisons are very, very clear that it's nearly identical. And to see the stark contrast in what people are saying then versus now is really, really fascinating to me, when people talk about that. And that's one of the reasons I was so interested when I talked about Halo's matchmaking. Remember, people were fucking praising Halo 2's matchmaking. And I said, that's fucking 10 years ago, right? Like, I want to see how people feel about it when it gets thrown in for 343 with the same thing with the Master Chief Collection. So I think people's perception of how things were back in the day to how things are actually now is just like, there's a new bar. And so the AI is one that I feel like is suspect for a lot of people. Now, that being said, Colin, those raids
Raid look cool. Like, it was frustrating watching the raid gameplays because it's like, this is what every strike should be. Like, there was no exploitable spot on those fights. Like, they had to keep moving. They were forced to go to the teleporter, go to the opposite side, go to this thing that activates the teleporter. Like, you're constantly being moved around the map, and you can't just post up and, like, sit in the spot that the AI is too dumb to find you in. Yep. It's like, that's what I wanted from the rest of the game. But for some reason, it's tucked into this exclusive 26-plus area. And that's the only area where they'll give you any difficulty, essentially. Besides, like, bullet sponge ramp up for the heroics, you know?
Right.
Like the regular strikes, they won't try to nade you out or flush you out of positions. You can sit, like, the one example, like the Servitor fight in Old Russia.
Old Russia?
You just sit in the staircase and they never push you. Like, nope. Nothing ever comes into the staircase. Yep. It's like, how does that not get weeded out during testing and gameplay and all that stuff? Like, it's highly exploitable, and it makes the entire fight completely pointless.
Yep.
And every single strike is like that. Like, every single one. I don't think I've seen one where there isn't some spot you can sit, the AI doesn't know what to do to you.
Very, very interesting stuff, dude. Like, the thing that you mentioned, the servitor on Old Russia, what kills me about that is, like, there are enemies, and I was sitting downstairs when we ran that. There are enemies that are downstairs sitting underneath the servitor in that open space, and they make no attempts, like they're yellows, right? They make no attempts to move forward.
They don't even walk up. They just sit there.
They just sat there the entire time, and I just sat them and just had a firefight with them from there, and they made no attempts to move up. So, I mean, there's stuff like that kind of bothers me, and you could throw up the difficulty on all those, and then it doesn't get hard. But then these raids are supposed to be like where the challenge is at, and so I don't know, you know, there's been a lot of debate, I think, right now on the internet in terms of how, I think the expectations that people had for the ramp up, right? Like, there's one statement that I believe Bungie said, I saw it on GameSpot, where they said the game doesn't start until level 20. And I feel like that's like a half truth, right? Like, the game gets more interesting at level 20, but like that time up to 20, that's still time spent in the game. So I think the analysis of that was like, are they saying that, hey, we're going to purposely make this lackluster so that once you get to 20, it's going to feel awesome? Or were they just like, hey, we know the end game is going to be better, and that's what you're going to focus on anyway, so that's where we're going to put all our attention, right? Like, it's really hard to tell what's just the design, I say philosophy behind how they've kind of gone about the game, but it's certainly interesting to hear them say that, like publicly say, hey, the game doesn't start until level 20.
I can't help but feel like they underestimated their player base across the board.
That's what I said. I agree. They think it's 2006.
I mean, they dumbed down like almost every area of the game. It seems like if you look at it, and they didn't really target good like players that know what they're doing, or really even like people that don't play shooters that much are able to kind of find their bearings, which is good. But then they're also able to quickly find out ways to get past things or exploit things, or like where there's not much depth. And it seems like they just didn't really provide the depth to be discovered. Like, it's not there. It's not there in PvP. It's not there in PvE. The raids is like the first taste of that to me.
Right. What's up, Kona? How you doing, buddy? And everyone else in chat. I'm sorry I didn't say hello to all the beautiful people in chat. Spoons, Hutchie, Flacco. with the military salute. Whose is that? Who has that salute? You need to get something like that, Colin.
Lyric.
Lyric? Oh, should have known. Okay. So that's one portion of it. The other thing with the story, and look, by the way, I have to stress this again. The game, and we said this before, the game is fucking gorgeous, right? Like,
yeah.
I can't get over how beautiful the game looks. I could stare at my character like all day. It just looks so good. The other thing that I think is, when you talk about underestimating the player base, is, you know, we made this comparison. There's several games I think that the comparison needs to be made to. There's Mass Effect. There's especially Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3, really. And then there's Borderlands, right? And then we talked about Phantasy Star Online. But you put all those together, like all the people that have probably played that, and then, again, let's talk about for the AI, for example. When you talk about the evolution of a gamer and where people expect things to be versus, you know, obviously where they delivered for this specific game, and it's like, I 100% agree with you. It's like there was no realization of what people actually want. And I think a good example of this is like Dark Souls, right? Like, I mean, people, if you throw people a challenge, like, everyone is not going to be like, oh shit, like this is too hard, let me just not play. Games are too hard these days, it's uninteresting, I'm not going to play your game. Like, I think that some people want a compelling portion of it. Again, at the same time, you know, when I think of games like from the MMO space, this is the really hard thing that they kind of put themselves into when you have like a MMO / shooter, is like, there's some skill level, right, that ramps up where it's super easy for like you and I, right? Like, yeah, it's super easy for us, so you can't really accommodate for us at the highest level, even in PvE. But for some people, they just like shooting on games just doesn't make sense. But like the early levels, and I guess this is where that level 20 stuff starts. Like, you talk about WoW, right? Like, you can burn through levels 1 through like 40 in like no time, right? So there's that portion of it, and the game feels super easy. But I think the battles there are still more compelling. You know what I mean?
I thought the battles of Mass Effect multiplayer were more compelling.
Well, more compelling. I agree. I agree there too.
Like the abilities and stuff, break up setups, and like that's just not here.
Yeah. And I feel like maybe there just wasn't enough diversity in the enemies that we've seen so far, right? Like, all of the behaviors we've seen are ones that we are used to in the Halo universe. So maybe there's just not a big enough departure in the AI behavior to make it compelling.
Part of it's there, like for example, there's enemies throw nades, but they just don't hit the spots. You know what I mean? Like, that's what should be working to flush you out into the open. Or like the sword vandals should be all over your face all the time, but instead they'll just like loiter around in the middle of a room. And it's stuff like that where it's just like, this doesn't make sense.
And so look, the repetitiveness of the story, that is not something that bothers me, because again, it's just like this mashup of games. You mentioned that, Pod, even Diablo, right? Like, you end up playing the Diablo story over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So for me, I feel like there is that portion of it where they want it to be very Diablo-esque. So the repetitiveness of the story is not what necessarily gets me. It's this last part that I'm going to mention that kind of bothers me, and it's the loot. The loot is what, Colin, look, this is what's so irritating to me about it. We've sunk, I don't know how many hours into the game. I think I officially have like 1 day, 15 hours, I think, when I check. So what is that? 39 hours in the game. So almost 40 hours in the game. I've gotten, I think, 2 legendaries. My very first one was like 1 or 2. It might be 3. Can't remember. But it's like, my first one wasn't even an item, dude. It was like, or it wasn't even a piece of gear. It was a purple, obviously. But it was it's like a crafting item.
Okay. I got a purple K.
Yeah, so this is what's bothering me about it. So my very first one, I was like so excited. I went to the Cryptarch, unlocked it, and it was something I basically could not fucking use, right? Got another one. And I'm sitting there looking at these boots, and I'm like, I don't recognize these boots. These don't look like Warlock boots. So I scrolled over it. Sure enough, fucking Titan boots, level 20. Like, I'm not even a, like, you've given me, look, this is what's so irritating about it, Colin. Up to this point, you've given me nothing but exclusive Warlock items. And then once I get a legendary, you say, oh, well, here's a here's a Titan legendary. I'm sorry you don't use that class right now. And I'm sorry we didn't give you any other Titan stuff to maybe save up for. But here's a Titan legendary. I'm like, really?
Yeah, I mean, the way to go is to purchase from the shop, right? But no one wants to purchase shit from the shop. Like, that's not fun. You know, like, that is completely against the thrill of seeing, like, a nice item drop and picking it up, which is, like, the core combat loop for any game like this.
Colin, that's probably the thing that bothers me the most. Like, you have trained me to understand that I am supposed to get my class's items. And then when you give me a legendary, I get excited for it, but then you throw another class on there? How does that make sense? You've trained me for 30 hours in this game that I only get my class's items. And then once I get my legendary, here you go. I figured you wanted this. This is just something you need. That was upsetting, dude. Frustrating.
Yeah, Potty, I mean, you can't put it in your vault and access it on another character. Which is what I'll eventually do with my Titan chess piece, exotic.
Yeah, Potty, I mean, you can do that, but the Titan is the last class I plan on using. So I'm going Warlock, then Hunter, then Titan. So for me, that's probably like 100 hours into the game by the time I get to Titan, maybe. I don't know. It's just, that just rubbed me the wrong way. And that just happened. I got all excited and just like, oh, really? So, I mean, we talked about the raid, and I want to mention this before I get into PvP, because I feel like that for me is where the game shines in the PvP. But Destiny's raid, the Vault Glass, unlocked. Oh, these are week-long raids, if I'm not mistaken, right, Colin?
It's live forever, but then every week your stuff will get reset.
Reset,
so
okay.
Your progress gets reset.
Okay.
And you can only run it once a week. Like, those guys that finish can't run it again. Although they have the hard option now.
I don't have my sub button on because it would have messed up the music, but characters, you get my clap. Characters, welcome to the sub group. We love you. Welcome.
Welcome.
Feels good. Feels good to be a part of the fam. I love you, man. All right, let's keep it going. So the funniest thing about the raids, I have to tell this story because I think Colin and I both were in tears laughing at this, by the way. So I was at lunch, and I was maybe even a little bit after lunch. We threw up I got to mention this. We threw up Twitch on Chromecast because Twitch announced that it is in Chromecast. And was I just talking about this? I feel like I talked about it on the show like 2 weeks ago.
It would have been a while ago.
Okay, so anyway, there's Chromecast support now for Twitch. It's awesome. Anyway, so we're watching these raids, and I shit you not, like, people's responses to the raid difficulty was amusing, to say the very least. Amusing. I mean, I think we heard it all.
It was the friendship killer. The raid was entirely the friendship killer. No matchmaking. You have to go in with 5 of your best buds, and we are going to tear apart your friendship. That was what the raid displayed today.
Oh man, I mean, listen. The one I listened to the most, and I told you this before the show, was Triple Rack. Who's a PS4, I'll call him a PlayStation Pro player, is what I'll call him. He played Uncharted. Really good friends of Tricep, Jason, he's a community manager at Loadout for Edge of Reality. And so I saw him tweet out the stream, so I hopped in there and I was watching his stream for like 40 minutes. And his group, dude, was just, like, they were doing just beasting it, like, every single time. and then halfway through, somebody would fuck up, and then everybody would be, they'd either get 3 or 4 deaths, and then it'd be ruined, or just like one person would go off and they wouldn't be able to focus. Whatever it was, like every single time, they messed up. So the funniest was, so I don't know if you guys have watched the raid. Like you get randomly, sometimes you get randomly thrown into like Venus or Mars. And so I guess there's some glitch that they kept talking about when you go back through these teleporters that you have to go one at a time or else it fucks things up. So 2 of these guys go through these teleporters, and the teleporters are the white like things that you have to shoot that the Vex come through. That's exactly what it looks like. So if you guys know what I'm talking about, picture that. So they're going through these teleporters one at a time. Triple Wreck goes through first, but this guy's getting shot at from behind him, like in Mars or something like that. So he like panics, right? So like they get all caught up going through this portal. And so like one of the dudes, who was I think a British dude, is like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? We told you, go through one at a time. Why would you go through? Why would you do that? Why would you do that?" And so like Triple Wreck, like he's getting upset. Like this, by the 6th time, he just he's throwing up these like basically gifs of like feelings and people being salty and all that stuff. So the funniest thing about like this one dude that's yelling at this guy who fucks it all up is the very next session that they do. The very next session, he's the first one to fuck it up. And so Triple Wreck starts yelling at this dude. It was just like hilarious, man. Hilarious.
It was great. I streamed like 3 or 4 different streams, and every single one had like one leader guy just raging on everyone else, and it was just glorious. And my favorite was I think I can't remember which one it was. Is there a Streamer House or that Grotto, whatever. But he's like, "All right, no one can die during the opening of this fight. No one can die or the whole run is shot. It's screwed." Then the guy died, and he's like, "What happened? How'd you die? How did you die? What happened?" The dude's quiet, and he's like, "How did you die?" He's like, "He shot me. I got shot. I had to switch over. He was shooting at the other guy, and I got shot." Don't let him do that. Don't get hit. Don't die. Just don't die. Run's done. It's done. Don't die. Then like the next time it starts, it's like, "All right, everyone, remember, don't die. Come on." It was like completely not productive at all. Like zero productivity from it. Just like, why'd you do that? Why'd you let yourself die?
Don't let him do that.
Yeah. I was dying.
Oh man, that had to be the highlight. Like, you know, people were talking about the difficulty level of AI. I can't wait to personally get into the raid, because I think anytime I played a raid on MMOs traditionally, it's been taking unless we are like the 2nd or 3rd one to do it, and then we end up watching, like for Final Fantasy, we will watch a raid video or see the explanation of it. We'd have one person that had done the raid with some other group, and so there will be one person leading you through what to do. I don't know if it quite translates that well over on the shooters, but there is an element of it where I've heard people like, "Okay, now we got to do this. Now you got to do this. Okay, everyone move to this side." And if you don't have that coordination in there, dude, you're going to get just run over from what I've seen.
Not paying attention.
Yep. So I can't wait to do it. So, I mean, we're 2 levels out before I think we want to give it a try.
Really?
3? 27?
27 is where I'd like everyone to be.
So after the show, Colin and I will be grinding some more. And by the way, if you haven't joined the clan or the group Sky Captains, you need to do that. Listen, I've been playing with everyone. You know, I stream in the morning. I've been playing with folks. If they're on when I'm actually streaming at 5 o'clock in the morning. When I get on late, I was playing with Ray, Chad Star, I think Iron Man yesterday. Ray's he's a one of the British guys, and our Sky Captains. I tried to invite Nomads this morning, but he went to work. So listen, if you guys send me a message and say I'm in the Sky Captains group, we'll throw you an invite if our fire team isn't full. So just fucking let us know. We'll play. It's on. We're trying to do this shit. We played with Galvik the other day too. He was 26. I would play with Tense, so he was playing with us. I think you were in the Skype call. Yeah. When that was still going down. But yeah, I mean, we're having a blast doing that. Now, portion I've got to talk about, guys, the PvP. Look, I've heard people complaining about it. Sean doesn't like it that much. I'm gonna tell you guys what. Like, there are very few games. Like, here's an example. I hop on a Titanfall. It doesn't matter if the other team has all good players. It doesn't matter like what my team composition is. It just doesn't matter in that game right now. I whoop everybody's ass. That has been consistently. There's been very, very few times. I think the only time I got my ass whooped was by what's his Sage, Gamer Sage, who was at the top of the basically the top of the Game Sage or whatever his name is. He's at the top of the Titanfall poll. These are the only team that would actually, all three of them, whoop my ass. That's about it. It was the only team. And I will perfectly fine saying that. Other than that, everyone's got run over. I play Destiny, and like I don't get me wrong, like I have been performing very, very well, but there's been games, dude, where I can't do shit. Like I get destroyed from start to finish. Like we played that Bastion with that one group. It was I think it was me, Sean. It could have been you, Colin, in there, and Devin. And then we had that guy, Al You Rise. I will not forget this dude's fucking name, because if I see him again, me and him going down. Like, it's going to be a battle. I'm making sure I'm streaming that shit, too. It's going to be a battle.
You guys are getting torn up.
He lit us up with the sniper.
I was positive. Just saying.
I think I went like... I think I had like 0.6 KD. Like, man. I mean, it happens. Look. I am not perfect. I get destroyed, too. But there's not been, I don't think there's been a game where I have consistently have games where I'm like barely breaking even. So for me, I'm like, fuck, this shit is kind of hard. Let me buckle up. Let me try to play. Like, let me figure this stuff out. And I feel like some of it is, people trying to exploit some things. But at the same time, I'm like, hey, if they're doing it, I can do it. And if I do it better than they can, then shit, I'm evolving, right? Like that's my personal attachment to like shooters. Is like I gotta feel like I'm progressing, and so when I hop into PvP, dude, it's like I'm actually getting challenged if I play by myself. If I play with a couple people, like we play with Array, we lost a few games, but for the most part we were just running people, but we still lost a few very close games.
I agree with you, but gear comes into it. It's not always necessarily that I can do what he can do and exploit the same things. Sometimes it's just you can't win. It's also really snowbally. Like if you lose early, you get, because then they have increased super meter. They might get the heavy ammo control off the bat, and then you're screwed because the heavy machine gun trumps everything.
Not the sniper from distance.
Well, it's not the sniper. But yeah, I mean, like, it's frustrating to me because a lot of times I don't know if it was the gear. You know what I mean? Like I can't tell. I start shooting a guy, I hit every headshot with my auto rifle, and I still lose in an auto fight. Like, a lot of times, I can't tell why that happened. You know what I mean? Because you don't know if that was gear, you don't know if it was net code. You don't know, maybe you missed a few shots, maybe he hit you first. Like, all that stuff, you can't tell. He might have had a gun that had, like, higher damage on the back half of the clip. He might have had a gun that has increased crouching accuracy. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of examples you can give. He might have had more toughness or armor or however the hell that ends up working in PvP. It's not really that clear. There's lots of fuzzy lines. So yeah, like stuff like that drives me crazy because I can't tell.
So look, I'll agree with. Like I said, I feel like some things are a little wonky with the PvP. But here's my thing with that, right? Like one of the things I can't tell, right, is like if people are playing in a team. That bothers me. Because there are clearly some times where I am getting swarmed by like 3-4 people, and I swear to God, they have to be communicating on some level where it's just like, how are these guys knowing where I'm at? I'll get to the radar in here in a second. But how are they knowing like I'm one shot, or that they can finish me off, or that hey, if you turn this corner, hey, I got them damaged, so they push up. Whatever the case may be, I feel like there's times where I'm getting teamed up on, and I don't know if I'm facing off against a team. So that needs to be a lot clearer. That was the same issue that was on Titanfall.
Yeah.
So that definitely needs something that needs to be improved.
Or against friends in Rumble.
Right.
It's always cool.
Right. But the thing with that you're saying, like the gear, sure, it matters, but I guess there's that part of me that's like, okay, this dude, like, let's say you, I mean, and this is a bad analogy, so bear with me when I say this. Like, you're playing a game of chess, right? Obviously, you know all of the things that can possibly be on the table, but you don't know what necessarily this dude's move is. He going to move here? Is he going to move there? Do I need to move there? Do I need to move here? So I feel like at a certain level, it is a game of chess, right? Like, you need to be in a better position a lot of the time in order to win that advantage versus the heavy armor, win that advantage versus the better weapon. Is he crouching? Okay, pay attention to what's doing. Can I move around a different way? Do I need to do this? What can I do differently to try to up my game to make sure that I come out victorious in a situation where I'm down? Right? Like, and sure that might not necessarily cross over, I think, when you're playing maybe the highest level, like the top 0.1% of the game, right? Like, some of that just it won't matter. Like, gear just matters there. But like, I feel like it's and this is just how I think about it. I feel like there's this mental portion of it that it's like, it doesn't matter. And this is just what I said in my head. Like, it doesn't matter what gear he has. I can outsmart this guy. And so that's what makes it so fascinating to me. Like, I don't care. And it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, he had a heavy right there. Okay, maybe I could have played that different. Maybe I shouldn't have rushed too soon. And I start evaluating and reevaluating what I did. That way he wouldn't have had an advantage. Now, there's times when fucking somebody activates a golden gun, right? Someone throws up one of those Titan shields, and he comes out, boom, shotgun, whatever the case may be. There's times when there's some stuff that happens, and I'm like, that was pretty cheap. And the golden gun is a perfect example of like, by far the cheapest thing to me is like someone coming around, one-shotting you anywhere, they hit you in the toe, and you're dead. Like, and all of a sudden he just activates it. And so you can't hear it. There's no clear audio cue. Visual cue is kind of hazy because there's a couple of characters that have like this yellow glow sometimes. There's also characters that have the fucking white glow sometimes. So you think that they have that blade dance, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they don't. So, you know, sometimes I'll be backing off. There's some stuff in there that I think needs to be a little bit clearer when you're making engagements. But
there's just a lot of that stuff. There's a lot of that stuff.
It's
like, the thing that drives me crazy is that if you're a good player, you're more often going to be killed by enemy supers because you're going to be the one that has an advantage on them and they have to activate their panic button. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of times I get killed because I shoot someone in the back and they just turn around and ground pound me. And it's like, I had position. You know, like, I had full position. Right. There was nothing at all I could have done to not die in that situation. And that happens a lot. And I'm pretty critical of my play, just in general. But even if I have a 2KD, like I'm like 2.0 and I'm stomping everything, I'm still going to be annoyed when I tie to a super. Yeah. Because it's bullshit.
Well, look, here's the thing with the supers, right? Like, I've been finding that having Blink has helped tremendously with my deaths to supers. Helps a bit. So, I at least with the ground pound and the Nova Bomb, I'm finding myself getting out of situations as soon as they activate where I can blink away. And for people that have been watching some of my streams in the morning, like, I have been embarrassing people with the blink. Like, remember I was saying on stream, it took my game from right here to right here. Like, blink is nasty. Yeah. So
it's required pretty much for people.
Yeah, it is. If you want to take your game to the next level, like, you have to use blink. There is no way that I would recommend that you float around with their, like, if it was faster, I would say jetpack is the way to go, but it's just too slow.
And you can't shoot while you're in the air, so what's the point of triple jump?
Right? Yeah, right? Like, yeah, it's just too slow.
The accuracy is awful.
It's too slow. So, look, I think there's a bit of a difference of opinion on PvP. But for me, like, dude, it's like super compelling because it's so difficult for me. Not so difficult, but difficult enough to give me a fun time every time I play.
Difficult because you have to overcome the cheap shit.
I can do it too, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, you have to be the better one at using the cheap shit.
Which is, well, am I in the vehicles? You see me in the vehicles every game, right?
It's not even that. It's like I said, I feel like I'm on the receiving end of the cheap shit more than other people on my team, generally, because I'm more aggressive.
And to be fair, we haven't even played a party of 6. We don't even know what that looks like right now. Like, we have not played party of 6 in Crucible yet. So
I played some parties of 4 and 5, and they've gotten rolled.
Yeah,
because they weren't good. But
I'm waiting for that party of 6. So that's my analysis of PvP. let's go ahead and talk about Microsoft buying Mojang so we can get the show rolling some more. Microsoft. I'll put that. Mojang. $2.5 billion. $2.5 billion.
That's a higher number than we talked about last week.
What was it? Just two, right?
It's two, yeah.
Jeez. So, first question. This is for the chat. This is for you, Colin. Is Minecraft worth $2.5 billion? Now, I saw some comparisons, right? Like, I think the Indiana Jones and Star Wars franchise is worth around that much. Separately,
really?
Not together. It might be worth more. Not together, but
Star Wars has to be worth more.
Yeah, it might be worth more. But those are some that are in the billions, right? Are we saying Minecraft is more than those? The New York Yankees are worth $2.5 billion. Is it worth more than the New York Yankees?
I said last week I thought it was way overpriced. 2.5 is extra overpriced. Again, it's weird because like they aren't really buying the studio, right? At this point, like Notch left, the various founders left.
All three founders left, including Notch. Well, they're going to see it through, right, to the deal ends, and then once I think the end of the year, they're gone.
Like the studio had like 30 or 40 people, I believe, is all. Like it wasn't a large studio.
Yeah.
They don't have any like fancy tech or anything. Like they aren't like a Epic or a id Software or like anyone that has tech really. Crytek, it's nothing like that. They're not getting anything on that side of things. I'm sure there's some like good programmers and engineers over there, but it's not really something they're known for. Is like crazy technical solutions. In fact, Minecraft lagged behind on their updates for ages. Right. So like the development hasn't been very fast. They're really just buying the brand in the game. But the game isn't really going to make that much more money. You know what I mean? It's not going to make that back. They're looking to make it back on merchandising and future stuff for the title, where they're buying the IP.
Right.
And from that perspective, 2.5 billion is insane.
So, look, there's this very interesting article. One of the very few that I've actually been like, fuck, Ben is actually onto something. So Ben Katura from Polygon wrote this article about why Microsoft would do this deal. And the thing that I took away from it was they're not buying this necessarily for the IP, but rather for the influence on the gamers of this age, right? Like they're buying mind share essentially. So I started to think about that, and like I was thinking about, like, for example, Will's daughter, who's 3 years old, plays Minecraft. Rapzilla, like she's 3 years old. She plays Minecraft. Like there's so many kids. Like there's this story that Goglove had like 2 weeks ago where this kid donated like $100 or something like that to his like stream or something like that. Just this little kid. Like there's all these stories about these little kids playing Minecraft and spending money on Minecraft. And I got to thinking, like, man, there's a whole lot of kids like that play this game, and it's definitely, like, you could say it's going to impact and shape their mind about gaming for the future, for sure. Most definitely, if it's this impactful that they're taking their mom's credit card or their dad's credit card and swiping some money, spending it on a stream because they want to watch or support such and such player. So, right, like, I've heard stories about that for the Minecraft servers, for mods, all this stuff about Minecraft and kids and security. There's a big thing with Notch, that Notch made that the changes in their EULA, whatever, about the servers, and so he got all this backlash. That's one of the things he mentioned. Why he kind of wants to step out of the limelight. It's like, why am I being attacked? He feels like he's just trying to do the right thing. So, I mean, there's just so much discussion around the idea of, like, influence. And I think it's hard to, maybe justify that much money for the game.
But that's a lot of money.
It's
a lot of money.
It is. It's a lot of money. Like,
It's a lot of money. It's a lot.
and the thing that gets me is like, in 10 years, what is the relevancy of Minecraft in 10 years? Like, what is the impact? What impact will Minecraft have on, like, this is not even something you can predict, but what is the impact of Minecraft on the future of game development in 10 years, to be worth this much money? Because is it something that people are going to refer to, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, like a Star Wars, like a Indiana Jones, one of those? Is it going to be like that? Is it an industry itself? These are all questions that I'm like, ah, man. Seems
Part of
like,
it's like, where can it go? You know what I mean? Like, what more can be done with Minecraft?
I,
Do you like, realistically, the next step for Minecraft is Project Spark.
right. And Mr. Monk
When you think about
says,
it, it's like
yeah, it is.
Project Spark is Minecraft 2.0.
Yep.
So like,
Yep.
what's the next step? Did you do Minecraft 2.0 and just like make it more highly detailed, more scripting options, more stuff for custom game sharing, community, all that stuff? Like if
Movies.
you make it more complex and stuff, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of Minecraft. So I don't know where they can go.
I'm,
So
dude, I
it's
don't
not
know.
just a fad or a stepping stone, you know?
Yeah. And it's I mean, I hear a lot of the guys in our chat. Obviously, a lot of our viewership is not based around Minecraft, right? Like, but
Yeah.
there's no denying that like some of the biggest personalities on YouTube, they're all Minecraft, like exclusive channels, or they do very little other content outside of Minecraft, and they have these huge followings. And again, it's just like there's these generation of gamers, and I don't know my exact age demographic, but I would say we probably have an older age demographic based on content on our channel and show. But if you look at like what
What you're
we
saying is
like,
that we can cuss.
yeah, if you look at what we like versus what some of those other kids like we have no context, right? Like
Yeah.
what is a 3-year old like? I can't even, like, my daughter is gonna be like, I like Minecraft. Like, I have no idea why she would like Minecraft other than like, she thinks it's cute, it's easy enough for her to get into. What is
Her
compelling a
friend likes
3-year old?
Minecraft.
Like, her friend likes Minecraft. Yeah, there's all these things that we just have no context for because we're just out of that age demographic and we don't understand it. Like, you can try to rationalize it all you want to, but like, we just don't get it. Like, I admit, like, I'm getting old, right? Like, I'm getting close to the 3-0. Like, so I already know I'm out. Like, I'm outside of that. Like, I'm on the tail end. Like, some of that shit is stupid. Like, I don't know. So I don't get that. It's certainly interesting to think about. Again, you consider why they would want to do this purchase, and you talk about mindshare. That's definitely interesting. Um,
But yeah, if that's pay off, you're talking 10 years, like
yeah,
realistically, to
exactly.
build in that and make it worth it.
Yep. And then there's this thing like, what's gonna happen with the game, right? Like, so, might have been GameSpot. Did you see this article GameSpot did with the studios that Microsoft has purchased and where they're at now?
No.
Oh, look, I'm not gonna say anything negative about it. Just if you guys can get a chance to check that out, let me see if I can find the link for you guys. Uh, it's like, where are you now type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I I don't know what's gonna happen to Mojang after this, but certainly interesting. You got all the founders leaving, right? Um,
I'd say there's no way that studio is a thing in several years. Just because, like I said, they didn't really buy the studio. Not really.
right. They just bought the IP.
They bought the IP, and they'll take on development and maybe pull some of those people over. But I'd be surprised if it's like around that studio.
I think the real question I have is like, is this something that Microsoft can mess up?
They seem like they know that they can't mess up greedily. You know what I mean?
What do you think would be a greedy mess up here? Would it be like axing it on, giving look?
I mean,
Here's
the very worst mistake would be like, all right, we're not doing Mac anymore. We're not doing Sony anymore. We're not doing handhelds, but they said explicitly like we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
The next level that you think about is, all right, here's a big Minecraft update. It adds this, this, and this. It's going to be on Xbox only. And then the next step would be it's going to be on Xbox only for a few months. And like that's where it gets broken down to me.
Way to the dawn. What's up? We made it. Sub mode enabled. Yeah, Colin, completely agree with you. Hold on, I'm still looking for this article. The thing that I thought was interesting, they were talking about like for competitors, would obviously the Xbox 360 and Xbox One versions, well, let's just say Xbox One version, start receiving content exclusive stuff, and then they leave out like PlayStation, iOS. Like that seems like that would just turn a lot of that's the thing that I'm most concerned about, and I feel like that's what's gonna happen.
Maybe.
I feel like
I mean, PC is gonna be the definitive, and it's going to have everything, which is the largest chunk of their player base.
Right.
But consoles are really close. There was a breakdown on, I can't remember which site it was, but it was like 35% PC, 30% are on consoles, many of which are Xbox consoles.
Okay.
And handheld iOS stuff. And then the rest was iOS, I guess. Yeah, just handhelds. So,
handhelds. Okay.
I mean, it's like PC is the large platform, but really there's people playing on almost everything. So like how they treat those people is going to be interesting.
I'm concerned, man. I'm concerned.
I don't think Minecraft's ever charged for DLC or anything either.
I don't think so.
I think they've just done updates.
Yep.
So that'll be interesting culture shock for this.
I can only hope, Colin. I can only hope. And look, I feel like Phil Spencer, like that dude knows what the fuck he's doing, right? Like,
yeah,
he's making some major moves to solidify. Like, Microsoft has some legitimate like IPs, talent. Like, he's making sure he does all the right things. And I feel like if anyone can lead them into the path of righteousness, it is definitely Phil Spencer. So we'll see how that goes.
Just gotta wonder how much pressure there is to make money when you buy $2.5 billion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure to monetize.
That is.
That's a lot of pressure.
It is. Considering they just had massive layoffs too, like.
Yeah, it was the phone division, but
still.
Yeah.
They're slimming down and they're making big acquisitions like this, like.
That's a lot of pressure to make money when you buy something for that much.
Yeah.
You remember what happened over at Facebook? Went public. Pressure.
The pressure?
Everything just crumbled.
But then they rose out of the ashes.
They're still making money, but the website sucks now.
They rose out of the ashes because they're monetizing on mobile.
Stupid app.
Phil Spencer's the head of Xbox, Pod even. He actually did the first video or whatever when they posted it or talked about it. So yeah, that's I'm very interested to see what you folks think on YouTube. Like, how does Minecraft impact you? It's very, very, very interesting topic because Minecraft is so huge in so many places. Gotta get me a Minecraft shirt now. MLG signs PewDiePie. This is probably the most shocking thing this week.
Speaking of things I don't understand.
So look, let me
I don't understand the fan base. I don't understand the deal.
What, PewDiePie's fan base?
Yeah.
I don't really understand. Again, that's one of those things, Colin. Look, what did I just say? We're out of that age.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
Like, speaking of things I don't understand.
We're old men now. Like, hey, this new generation, they're all about PewDiePie. There's a couple.
Terrifying.
There's a couple things I think is interesting. Basically about YouTube stars in general. In this new age of digital media, obviously we've been a part of that, and we understand it to a certain degree. I would not say that by any means do we have the same level of as success as a lot of those other people, but I think we understand it at its core. I kind of worry about relevancy, like, you know, when does that wear off? And in PewDiePie's case, like, it'll probably be a very, very long time, considering he's at the top of YouTube. And so once you're at the top, like, it's easy to stay at the top. It's easier to stay at the top. The interesting thing for me here is, like, regardless of if you don't like him, regardless if you don't like his content, regardless of all these factors, not understanding all this stuff, there's no doubt in my mind that he is probably one of, if not the single most important person or entity right now when it comes to game discoverability.
Yep.
He put Flappy Bird, like, no one knew what Flappy Bird was until PewDiePie made a video, and then it hit the top of the charts, and then it was like the #1 game for a while, and then, you know, Nugan, whatever, he took it off, right? He kept Skate 3. Have you heard about this? Dude kept Skate 3 in the top 20 games in the UK, some other places, because he was posting videos of the game, and people went out, they were going out purchasing Skate 3 so they could go play this old ass game again.
Like way after release.
Yes, there's no denying that this guy is very, very influential in the industry, and by MLG signing a show, not having him stream exclusively on there, but having him stream a show.
Not even streaming. He's streaming the video before he uploads it to YouTube.
Ah, so that's
it's not even live from what I understand.
Okay. So
it's him streaming the video, then he'll be in chat.
Okay. So the fact that they're making moves to acquire talent, influential talent, to join their network, I think is very interesting. I'm wondering if this will actually move the needle for them, because I feel like at this point they are basically, give or take, the #2 live streaming service. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah.
When it comes to games, not period, but when it comes to games, would you
Sure.
say they're the #2? Okay. Behind Twitch, obviously. Twitch just had their major acquisition for $1 billion. And I don't know the financial, you know, what the financial outlook for Major League Gaming is, but they've been around a while, right? They've gotten a number of investor round funds and all that stuff several times now. And, you know, they came out with MLG TV. They made power moves on the Call of Duty community. This is another power move that they're doing, trying to get PewDiePie. I'm wondering how many more of these, like, talent hunts the acquisitions they're gonna come across in order to push to their live service and try to get viewership there to be the de facto, I'm gonna say, #2 live streaming service. And is that a smart move for them? Like, can they just buy people and then that's gonna equal, you know, viewership for them?
I don't know. I mean, it's different demographic entirely, right? And there's probably not that much overlap between people who watch PewDiePie and the MLG current audience.
Right.
It's really weird. Like, you're asking people to go to a site to watch a video early. I personally don't think that many people will do that. And I'm probably wrong, but without him announcing it in a video every week, I doubt that many people will do it.
Well, here's the thing, though. You gotta also think that PewDiePie disabled his comments on YouTube because of the filth that is on YouTube. We should do a show about that one day, about YouTube comments, because
about YouTube filth,
about YouTube comments, the filth that is in the YouTube comments. Because I feel like our comment section, I ban people, I delete. I mean, I manage mine a lot more than some other folks. Which I will say this: some people, I will not name any of them, but some people feel like they don't want to manage their comments because they don't care. If they're watching, then that's all they care about.
It's just really hard.
Right.
It's
So
a lot of work.
I feel like the fact that people get to actually talk with PewDiePie in chat could be something compelling, but then why would you not just tweet him? Is he going to be any more active in the chat, answering who God knows how many questions coming in?
Especially there's a stream of stuff.
Yeah, like
none of it related to the content. It's just a stream of questions. Yeah.
Right. I don't know. I mean, That's something that I think is like a really interesting, because obviously they gotten a lot of talent, right? They got Fwiz from Machinima who's doing their live stuff. They got all the Call of Duty guys again, and they got PewDiePie now. And so, are they gonna start targeting more people? I think they will. Um, I just don't understand what they're trying to do with the platform. Like, remember
Yeah, like where are they going? You know what I mean? Like if it's no longer about
esports?
esports or even playing games necessarily. I don't know what the subject of, but like not all PewDiePie stuff is necessarily game stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so if it's not about esports, then what is MLG?
I don't know.
What is MLG when you start crossing over and changing things? It's like
Barbarian
asking
team.
like, what is Twitch with live concerts all over the place? You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
same thing. It's like you lose this highly focused thing and something different now. It's really
So,
weird.
are comments really necessary on YouTube though? To some degree, I feel like they are. I
I scroll down to the comments, even though I know they're usually awful every time after I watch a video.
It's like it's something I want to see how people react to it. There's a level of interaction between you and the viewer that you can't necessarily have. Like, if I had no comments, right, like on my videos, and I just had likes and dislikes, I would have no context. Like, some people want to know specific things for certain videos, or hey, could you explain this a little better? Hey, you said like one guy said, oh, you were saying nah too much in your video. I was like, oh, I was. I was like, oh, okay. Well, this isn't a video where I'm going from a script. Um, so, I'm sorry about that. I'll pay attention to it more in the future, right? Like, um, I think there's a level of that where yeah, there's some validity to it, but the difference here is like, I manage, again, I don't want to get on this, but I manage my comments a lot more than mine. Like, if two people are arguing, for example, on my channel, and like they're name calling and stuff, I will very, very quickly come in and be like, hey guys, chill out. Just calm down. Like, it's not worth it, right? Like, what are you arguing about? It's nothing to argue about. Like, stop. And 9 times out of 10 people stop. So, like, I'd rather have 5 comments on my video that are either discussing topics, or have questions or legitimate conversation about dialogue about whatever's in the video, rather than 100 comments of YouTube comment filth. I don't want that. Like, it's just not necessary. And those people that do that, like, I ban them. Like, I just, hey, you can make an account. We can play that. Like, it takes me one click. You can do all the sign up, make a new email, do all this stuff. Like, you're wasting way more time doing that than I am just putting your name in a ban list. Like, and I feel the same way on Twitch. Like, there's just no need for it. So I would rather be in control of that than have people run amok, because I legitimately care about interesting dialogue. And I think once you get to scale, yeah, sure, maybe you need some people to help manage it, but there's no way I would disable comments because of that. I would just ban people. Like, it's just, you spam, get banned. You do this, get
If you got up to
banned.
that 1 million mark, though,
We'll see. I mean, if
it'd
that
get
ever
crazy.
happens, we'll see how crazy it gets. But I don't feel like that necessarily might be a problem for me.
Just pay someone to do it full time.
Could do that. Could totally do that. Um, so the last question I would like to kind of ask with the signing PewDiePie, and we kind of hit on it, is MLG moving away from competitive gaming? Are they all gaming now? Are they the pinnacle of all of gaming rather than the focus of a very few select games?
It's supposed to be quality content. Was their pitch for the Twitch for MLG TV? Like
Right.
everything was going to have a quality bar. Remember, like that was what their big thing was. I feel like they've already started to slip away from that. So, like, are they just trying to compete with Twitch at this point? Is that the goal?
I think so. One wing, I believe I can make mods on YouTube. I do believe I can. Maybe they're gunning for Twitch. I don't like the MLG chat. Pushing for premium content. I I've only watched a couple shows there, man.
MLG streams are not any different than Twitch streams. When it's all the same stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's interesting. I'm definitely gonna check it out. Like I want to see what the hubbub is about. I've watched some of the Call of Duty guys. I've come into their chats to support them and stuff like that. Some of the guys I know on MLG, but I think it's weird. I think it's real weird to do that. And I'm just wondering what their long term strategy is. Are they gonna just start buying people up? Like, and then I also kind of wonder is this a deal with Maker Studios, which is the entertainment group that was basically bought, that manages these groups, that was bought by Disney? So basically, is this a deal with Disney to get PewDiePie, or is this a deal individually? I'm kind of wondering how that kind of crossover works as well, to see if there's any overlap. So,
I mean, it's no extra work for him at all because he's just streaming the video he was editing anyways.
Yep. So
like it's free money.
Just get that free money.
It's free money. Like I can see why he would do it. The weird thing is just from MLG and associating and moving away from competitive. It's weird.
Burns the name something I like and bash other video troll names and come into a video with subject matter I clearly don't like just to talk shit about. Yeah, that's what people do, dude. I don't. Just some people, man. And then we got. We'll go into Q&A and we'll just talk about this.
MLG wears formal shirts on their streams. Yeah, I'm always streaming in the polo, classing up Twitch, trying to get on the MLG TV level.
So we'll take some questions. We can go ahead and talk about the iWatch and the iPhone 6. If you haven't seen it, let me switch over to monitor view real quick. There are a couple compelling ones that I'm interested in. Oh shit. Let me go to the. So this is their website, right? Like, they got some really nice stuff, for sure. I can't watch that film. Like, it looks nice. Don't get me wrong. Now, if you guys aren't on the smartwatch kick, and if you watch my videos here in the next couple weeks, my birthday's coming up. I plan on getting that Moto 360. They have the 3 editions, the Sport Watch, Watch Edition, the regular watch. And the thing that gets me is, like, these colorful armbands here, or wristbands for them. Like, I just makes it look cheesy. So, I mean, if I see someone with those, they'll probably be the Sport Watches. I need something that's more like this, but I'm not a fan of the face, which I think is your biggest problem with the calendar, right? It's like, you don't like how the face looks.
Giant dumb screen on your wrist. The Moto looks alright, although it's still a little large, in my opinion.
It is kind of large.
Yeah, like, you said you were going to buy the Moto 360.
Yeah.
Was it on your radar, or were you going to purchase it before the Apple announcement of the iWatch?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
Well, here's the thing, right? I was getting updates from Motorola.
Because of your Samsung?
Because of my previous phone. So the reason that the Moto 360 was on my radar is because I have the Samsung Note. And when I purchased my Samsung Note, they were actually trying to push the Gear watch on me last year, which launched with that because it had compatibility with it. So when those two things launched, I was like, oh, the Gear's out. I don't want to get the first gen. Like, I've learned my lesson with some of those things. Like, I'm just not going to get first gen. I don't know. Wait, see how it kind of pans out. Wait for reviews. People were shitting on the Gear, like it wasn't good. And so I had the smartwatch kind of look. I was just looking for them after the Gear, and I was like, okay, the Pebble was nice. I kind of saw that. And then the Moto 360 was like, ooh, that actually looks like a watch I would legitimately wear. Because I regularly wear watches. I don't know if I told this on story on stream. My daughter actually ruined the 2 watches that I had. So the first one, I had a Kineko one. She broke the bands on them. It was a rubber one with a it almost looked like the Moto 360 round face. Had a rubber band instead of a leather, I think is what they have. And then I had a stainless steel. I can't remember what brand it is now because I just fucking threw it away. But she snapped that one too. So 2 watches ruined. Like, this one is getting treated like a baby. There will be no touching, no fingerprints on it, just none of that, like from her. But yeah, I've had that on my radar, dude, since it was announced. I want to say May, April. But to your point,
I think the iPhone announcement was like huge advertising for the Moto 360.
to your point, yes,
Every single article that I saw was like, yeah, they announced the iWatch. It looks all right, but really the Moto 360 looks way better. And
yeah,
those sites weren't reporting on the Moto 360 before. Like
right,
there might have been an article on some of the tech sites about it, but they weren't like praising it or hyping it up or like any. It was just a sub note. You know what I mean?
right,
And now they kind of brought to the forefront. It's like it's better than the iWatch probably
yeah,
in
yeah, for
terms of
sure.
the visuals for sure.
My thing, yeah, it's just basically visuals. Like for me to wear a watch, it needs to be aesthetically pleasing to my eyes. Like I need to like look at the watch and like the watch. I can't wear that neon shit, the rubber band shit. Like none of that shit looks appealing to me at all because I'm out of that age range. And in the event that I would wear something like that, it would have to be for athletic reasons, preferences. So you know the watch sport or whatever looks okay, but
You're
it's
not gonna
just
wear a $400 watch.
exactly while I'm working out. That is the big point right there. That you hit it right on the head.
$400 watch.
I'm not gonna wear a $400 watch working out. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? What? That is the exact reason why I can't look at that and be like, yeah, I'm gonna get this. It does all these cool ass things. Wait, I have $400 on my hand and I'm fucking lifting weights. What? No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm jumping rope. I'm outside running. No, 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 just no. Um. So hold on there. I saw a few questions that we had. I think there's one from. I'm gonna say it was Mr. Monkman who asked something about, oh, do you think Destiny PvP will keep people's attention when Advanced Warfare and Master Chief Collection come out? Look, I've already said
No,
my bits on this. Yeah, so when you talk about Xbox users, everyone's jumping on Halo. So not everyone, a large majority of people are jumping on Halo
and COD.
and COD. So I feel like when you talk about Xbox, there's a lot of shooters that are going to pull from the Destiny pool, and yes, it's going to take a hit on Xbox. But when you look at PS4, PS3, I just don't see it happening. Maybe Advanced Warfare pulls some people off, but there's not a strong enough lineup of shooters on the PlayStation platform to pull from Destiny. It's just not. Am I still working at Epic? Dog? Yes, I am. I am the community manager at Epic. I work on Fortnite. One of the community managers, I should say. And I work on the game Fortnite. Is it my dream job? Yes. I've wanted to work at Epic Games since I was 14 years old. Playing UT. UT 99. I have the Samsung Gear. Oh, I just saw this, Barbarian. You have the Samsung Gear. Thank God it was a gift. I would have gotten the 360. Oh, dude. I got a month and a half, man. Month and a half. It's my birthday. Think so. Yeah, Destiny, just to get around. Still playing Raid so hard. Where are you up to on the Raid? We haven't started yet.
He's talking to.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, my question for you, Colin, for the smartwatches, smartwear. Is there something, a watch? I've seen necklaces. I've even seen now earphones and stuff that they're coming out. Is there something smartwear that has you wanting to purchase it? And we'll throw VR in there too. Google Glass, stuff like that.
I mean, if I could not look like a douchebag wearing the Google Glass, I'd be interested. But right now, they're just kind of gaudy. You know what I mean? But like for me, it needs to be like really low profile, almost like I'm not wearing something that's a screen. You know what I mean? Like that's where it's at for me. So like the iWatch, no way. The Moto can almost pass as not being a screen, but it's still like I prefer something that was inset into like a traditional watch. Outer ring, but even I'm not a watch accessorizer either, so like really the options are limited to my glasses for me. And Google Glass, interesting, but it's still a bit too in your face. Literally.
On your face.
On your face.
On and in your face.
In other people's faces, I guess, is more what it's at. And the idea of getting texts on your watch is just ridiculous to me.
Why?
Because other people see what you got texted.
No, they don't.
They could.
How?
If you're sitting there talking to someone and you have your hands on the table.
Who talks with their hands like this on the table?
Well, no. Sometimes you're sitting there like getting coffee. And
Why, hello.
Like,
yes. Hi, Bob. Yes.
Or at a bar or something. If you're at a bar, then you might have your hands.
Oh, I got a text from Jimmy. Oh.
Or
No one is doing that.
Or you happen to going up to shake someone's hand at that exact moment, and they look down, and it's like, let's get freaky tonight.
You get that sex. You get that sex from someone, and they're like, "Oh shit," getting those nudes.
I gotta go.
Kupo said, "How are the gray hairs?" I still only have one, man. I only got one.
The smart beard, yes.
Smart beard. I can't wait. I can't wait to get a couple patches, man. Just a couple.
If you have it down here, you just kind of flip it up.
So I will say this. So if I'm not mistaken, before you get a gray hair, you're supposed to get a red hair, correct?
I don't know.
I don't know if you know. Anyone that has gray hair, I know there's people that have gray hair in our fucking chat right now. Before you get a gray hair, I think you get a red hair. So I have one hair and my mustache.
Are you gonna be salt and pepper?
I might be, dude. Like,
I don't think I've ever seen. I don't think I've seen a black guy with salt and pepper mustache.
I might be that dude, man. Smart band Google Glass looks like a scouter from from DBZ. It does, Fatal. It does. Over 9,000. It's bad how white people would talk. That was actually my sophisticated talk. Why, hello there. Yes. That was not my. I don't want to do my impression of. We're not going to do that on the show.
Similar to Chappelle's.
Yeah, very similar to Chappelle.
Oh, hi, Bob.
That was my sophisticated. There was no race behind that impression. Mine was just sophistication. Why, hello there, Bob. You have lots of gray. I'm starting to get some.
Starting.
That right here, and I think this one in my mustache right here is gonna pop out and be gray.
Just for men.
Colin, stop.
Mine's just going to recede, and that's going to look even worse. So I don't know why I should be talking. It's pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah, just stop.
Based on genetics.
Was that it for questions? That's all we got today? So I don't make sure I didn't miss anything. Fatal, thanks for the words about Danny. We appreciate it. All right, are we streaming after the show? I'm gonna fire up that Destiny after the show. Woo! House tints his hairline receding. It's running away from him as we speak.
More excited to play Halo or Advanced Warfare MP? Probably pretty equal to me.
I would say,
and I can play Halo right now, so that's might be saying something. I don't know. Frozone, no. Work at certain affinity.
At certain affinity.
But it's be cool, like seeing everything together. I'm gonna play some Halo 1 online. That'll be fun.
Opinion on ISIS and how Obama is handling it? We don't talk about that on the show, buddy. I prefer not to talk about politics. That is one line.
Don't
Politics
really
and
talk
religion.
about it at all.
Yeah. Politics and religion, we do not touch those on the show.
People are too touchy.
Yeah.
Speaking of YouTube comments, that's when you get the really crazy ones.
Yeah. Tell us about Halo 5. I don't know what Colin's talking about. What?
Halo 5 would be cool.
Yeah, it will be.
Looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm. It'll be good.
In December?
Mm-hmm. That beta.
Beta? It's an expansive beta, too.
3 weeks. I can't wait.
All those maps? Whew.
Quinn's gonna be talking shit to us. I already know. He's gonna be in our chat talking shit.
I'm gonna stomp Quinn. Day 1. Just like I did on the Gears beta. No head starts long enough.
Nope. Yeah, Jed. I mean, sorry, dude. I just not the place for it. Like, you can hop on somebody else's channel, YouTube channel that wants to talk about politics. Just not for me. Not for me. H2 or H3?
I prefer H2.
What?
I think for me it's like 2, 1, 3.
I think it's 3, 2, 1 for me. Look, I love 2.
2 just had the maps, man. The maps
it
in
did.
2.
It did, but here's the thing. There's too many glitches.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, the online was a bit poor because of the glitches. But, like, when you, like, played an actual match and people weren't using that shit, except for the ones which mattered, you know, BXB, BXR,
yeah,
double shot.
I don't mean those. I don't mean like the skill glitches.
You're talking about super jumps.
I'm talking about, yeah, super jumps, and there's
all the
people
modding,
like,
crazy modding.
People modding like crazy.
And the spots off the map you could hide on.
Oh god. And it didn't. I remember the game was fine for like the first like 4 months, 5 months. Like it was pretty clean. Like it was rare to run into someone like that. And then you remember people would they would lag out the servers by like they would get host and like fuck the whole game up. Do you remember that happening?
Yeah.
Oh man, there was just so many things like that people would do. Like they would just flood. Oh god,
it was disgusting. But still, you had all those maps.
Oh,
yeah, lockout, midship, warlock.
Oh, the map. Yeah. Look, the maps. I love the maps, but
sanctuary, like just packed. Like all the best maps were in Halo 2.
Hey, Potty, what are you talking about? Sword Base was the best Halo map ever.
I have so much hatred for that map.
It was the best.
That was some of the worst level design in any Halo game, in my opinion.
Johnson, I think Halo 2 had by far the worst standbyers in gaming history.
Yeah, probably.
I think I could definitively say that it had the worst standbyers in history. Like, it was so bad. So bad.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped playing. I specifically remember
I stopped playing because of standby as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I was done. Like I remember hopping on like, hey, let's play some Halo. All right, we get on. Like, nope, you couldn't play. People get their ass whooped and then they start standbying you. Oh. Kupo, you know you love Sword Base. You know you love Sword Base, Kupo.
Like green on Guardian was awful. Is that your Kappa? Is that Arc Kappa?
That's my Arc Rant.
Just using it as a Kappa substitute?
I am.
Kappa isn't good enough for you anymore?
No, I can't use Kappa if I have my own.
No, Kappa forever.
You know what, Colin? We're going to just start streaming the show from YouTube. That way you won't have your Kappa.
That was the worst. That was the worst show. That was the worst show when we were on YouTube.
Colin was so upset about that.
It was so sad.
So, is there anything we can shoot the shit about on the show before we sign off for the night? Anything? Trying to think of some stuff. No, nothing. No movies. I got the Age of Ultron story got revealed a little bit more. I saw that, which we already knew.
I had a movie topic I want to talk about. I can't remember what it was though. This is awful. I saw a trailer. It was good. No, I forgot. I watched The Raid too, by the way.
Oh, was it good?
I hadn't seen it. It was quite good.
I watched the original Raid. So Raid 2 was it better? About the same.
It's about the same type of stuff.
Okay.
I like the kind of campiness of the first one, the whole climbing the tower concept, you know.
Yeah.
Um, where the second one tries to do like a more traditional plot to it.
Interstellar. More traditional plot, you say?
Yeah, I mean it's still like ridiculous and there's tons of fighting, but
Yeah. That's what made it. Did you see? I saw an ad for Brad Pitt's movie, Fury, which talks about the Tiger tank or whatever during the World War II.
I don't think I
He's
saw
been
it.
on like a war kick, in like my opinion. He's done like three, the last couple. Not the last couple years, but like I feel like every other movie he's done like some more. Like there's Inglourious Bastards. No, he wasn't in Monument Man. Okay, never mind. That was Matt Damon that was in that. And then this one. Oh, John Wick? Keanu Reeves?
I love Keanu. I'm actually a big fan of Keanu.
He's like Nick Cage to me almost. He has the same type of look, Colin, if you no, but seriously.
He's in
if you
fewer
look
bad
at,
movies.
But if you look at some of the movies that he participates in, 47, yes. Like there's that. Then he does really odd movies, like he was in
Let's say like he just does like one-offs that make no sense.
he was
like,
in
why
this.
are you in this?
Yes, like I can't remember this movie, but he was in like this martial arts kickboxing movie, whatever, where he was the bad guy and he was like training this guy to beat up other people.
Yeah, it
I
was
can't remember the name of that
Man
movie.
of Tai Chi. I just pulled up
Yep.
page. Yeah. It's just a
He was
bunch
the
of
bad like it was just like a random movie. It's like, why is Keanu Reeves in this? Why is he playing the bad guy in this movie?
It's just with a bunch of Japanese martial artist guys, and that's like that's it. And he was the director apparently. That was the movie he wanted to make. But I mean, at the end of the day, like he has a pretty good list.
Yes.
It's a pretty good list.
I mean, you take out Matrix. What else does he have?
Constantine was good.
Okay, yeah.
Uh,
That's post Matrix.
Speed was one of my favorite movies.
Is pretty good.
And he had the sense to leave the series. Because
Wait.
no business being in sequels.
Wait, you want to go on a boat next? Fuck this.
Which is what he should have done with The Matrix. Like by the time the third one came along.
Wait, you want me to be Jesus? Fuck this.
Like that was where the line should have been drawn. At Revolutions, that should have been it. Yeah, he was in. I'm going through the list. Just like,
I told you, Colin. I've seen a lot of this dude's movies, and you're talking about he has a lot of good ones. Like, no, he doesn't. He has a lot of ones that are like, wow, I can't believe you were in this movie.
Like Street Kings wasn't bad.
Anyone see
Scanner Darkly was
Scanner Darkly?
Okay. It was okay. It was kind of boring.
It was. I had these high expectations because Robert Downey was in it, and he was just like, no, just like he played a weird dude.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's all right.
He is Nick.
Point Break. Thank you. I don't know why I forgot about Point Break.
It's a decent movie. And it's still like, as I said, you take out Matrix, and that's two movies. You said Constantine, which is good, but I wouldn't classify that as a great movie. Like,
I enjoy Constantine.
I did too. It's fun.
Yeah. Fun movies are fun. That's what Speed is. Like, Speed isn't really a good movie, but it's fun.
That's what I know. But it's memorable.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would classify Constantine as memorable.
No.
That's what I'm saying. You got two movies outside of The Matrix, which, by the way, he wasn't even supposed to be the main actor for that. It was supposed to be Will Smith.
Right. Devil's Advocate was just weird. That's a weird movie.
And okay, let's be fair with Devil's Advocate. Fucking Al Pacino made that movie.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of man.
It's an Al Pacino movie.
So you still just got two.
But yeah, I still can't remember what trailer I want to talk about.
All right, that's our little bit of banter for tonight's show. Yes, we're going to be on Destiny right after this. I'm going to get this uploaded right over to YouTube. You guys would be so kind as to like the video over on YouTube. I really appreciate it. So does Colin. It helps us get through the day. Looking at those likes go up because when we I should comment on this. When we cut the show off, we got some dislikes. We got some people like,
there were some.
You guys
really
did us
people.
fucking dirty. Like,
we had like dozens of dislikes. It wasn't even like some.
Yeah, it was like people didn't like that. Okay.
People didn't necessarily leave a comment. Only a few left a comment, and they were pretty salty. But those dislikes just came out, which surprises me because I'm surprised that many people make it to the end of the show every week.
Right. Like,
it's like, how did you even know you missed out on anything? You didn't skip through the Q&A. No one does that shit. Because it doesn't matter. You're not in the chat.
Yeah. You just got punked. You punked yourself,
that many people
buddy.
Make it to the end and then they get upset.
You did. You punked yourself. You missed the end of the show. Sorry. But
Surprise.
I will be on streaming right after this playing some
What's funny is that they don't realize they can just load up our Twitch page and just click.
And just watch, right?
Like, you can just click to the part of the show that you missed and then watch it. Just saying.
But yeah, there's a reason that we have to do these things because, like, for example,
you never know what a copyright claims they come in for a cookie.
Right. So today's song that I played, I can't play that on YouTube. Here it is, right here. Like, I can't play this. I can't play it. Like, I'll play it a little bit lower. Like, I have to cut the end of this off, right? Like, there's none of that. I can't play that. Like, I keep little snippets in there of the music, but it, like, if it plays out too much, copyright strike. Video taken down. Can't do it. So that is why we have to sometimes cut the show off. I hope you guys understand. Sometimes, I mean, that week I did it, I was kind of being, because we talked.
We talked about fucking cookies.
Cookies.
Like, we talked about cookies and waffles. That's what you missed. Sorry to ruin it for you guys. We talked about waffles without you. We talked about waffles.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It was just waffles. Waffles and syrup.
You missed up on waffles. Oh, and chicken and biscuit.
And chicken and biscuits.
But really just chicken. Because don't serve biscuits.
But, okay. We're peacing out.
Yep.
85. Out.
I was wondering where the 85 came from. It took me a second. 85, out.
85, out.
Have a good night, guys.
Later.